Welcome back to 13C. Today we're talking about another flashlight. This one is from Olight, the H2R Nova. Now, Olight bills this as their versatile LED illumination tool. And tool would be a pretty good word for this. This isn't necessarily a tack light. I'm not sure if this would necessarily be an EDC light either, but it has a lot of uses. Crazy bright on the high end and a really long life on the low end. So let's just jump right into it. The battery in here, it's rechargeable, recharges through the bottom here. It is an 18650 inside here, which is basically like putting, put on there pretty quick, which is basically like putting on two CR123 batteries together, except for basically just hyperdriving it, so to speak. So you recognize chargers like this from one of our other Olight videos. That's it. When you want to go charge it, the other end you plug into a USB. You notice I actually haven't even taken the USB cover off this. Not that I haven't charged it several times, but because I've got it in that same rest charger, like desk stand charger, that the H2R Baton 3 comes with. Now that is a really cool light. I have some more information on that later on, but that's actually what I've been charging this in. I'm going to take this charger as soon as I'm done with this video, go put it in my Jeep, so that if I'm out on the road and I need to recharge this, I can. It does have a low battery indicator, a red light that'll light up on here that'll let you know when the battery's getting low. So it's not going to surprise you going out in that regard. But I spend a lot of time outside, I spend a lot of time traveling, and if you run your battery low, it's nice to be able to know on the road, whatever you can plug a USB into will charge this guy up. The bulb on here is a Cree HP, or excuse me, an XHP 50. Pretty bright bulb, and it allows up to 2300 lumens out of this guy, which is a ridiculous amount of lumens for a light that's this small and with this type of battery. Could be maybe the highest lumens that I've ever seen with this type of small bulb and battery combination. I'll leave that up to the experts though to determine if that's definitely the case. I mentioned 2300 lumens at the top end. We're going to step through all of those. The throw on this is 153 meters, listed 153 meters. Now I've used it quite a bit out here. We've got fields. This is a working farm here at the hacienda, so I've got, from outbuildings to the basement or attic, and then outside fields with plenty of room, a couple hundred yards worth, depending on which direction you're at, before you hit tree breaks and stuff. So we can definitely test these lights out and their advertised throw rates, if you will, very well out here. And the PL Mini Valkyrie that we did, the weapons mounted light, it's rated at 75 meters for its throw. I only mention this as a difference. I would say that's actually probably underrated for its throw. It's got a nice tight beam that's very usable for its purpose that I really like, and it's probably 75 meters as being a little conservative. On this side of it though, the beam width on this is much wider. It's more of an area illumination tool. So I would say they might be overestimating that 153 meters a little bit. Then again, 150 meters is basically 450 feet. I'm not going to do the full math conversion here for 20, whatever it is. But the point is, it's still a lot of usable light, a long distance, and if you're going to be using for that, this probably isn't the light. You're going to use some kind of floodlight. Although theoretically you could use this as a floodlight for that. Maybe we'll try and get some video up at night out here at long range. It's hard to get some of those distance things up to balance out the camera. I'm still working on that. A lot of my stuff has always been suited for daylight and high quality HD video in that regard. Still working those camera things. We'll see how that turns out and do some more work after the sun finishes going down here. So 2300 lumens at the top end, that's in the turbo mode. Now it'll go at 2300 lumens for about a minute, and then it'll step down gradually to 750 lumens after that. And at that level of usage, you're going to get about an hour and 10 minutes worth of use out of this light with this battery. Now high mode, which is the next step down, high is going to give you 600 lumens at about 2.5 hours of runtime. Medium is going to give you 150 lumens at about 10 hours. Low is 30 lumens for 50 hours. And then the lowest setting is not actually low, it's considered moonlight, and that's 1 lumen, and that is 1 lumen for 45 days straight. Now 1 lumen doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're talking about waking up in the middle of the night and using this for 1 lumen, or if you're camping, you're out in the middle of nowhere trying to walk down a trail and you have, there's no light out, 1 lumen is a lot of usable light. Now 1 lumen out in the daylight now, I mean, you're barely, we'll hold it down, we'll do it here for you. Obviously you guys saw it come on, but it's not, it's not like it's a whole lot of light, right? I mean, you can't really even tell it at 6 inches. But once the sun goes down, it is a ton of light, usable light, if that makes sense. We'll try and find some way to show that for you guys. But if you've ever been out in moonlight and it's pitch black and you've got a full moon out there, the moon casts a shadow. And how many lumens is that, right? 1 or 2, right? So it's a lot of usable light. I don't want to get bogged down in the details there. It has a 6th mode on it, if you will, outside of that, the SOS mode. For that, you would click it 3 times, and then it turns itself into SOS mode, and it'll do the SOS until it dies, which I would assume would be several days worth of continuous SOS. Some of the features of this guy, aside from that, I might as well tell you how to access them, right? So if you want to access low, you push and hold for about a second, and then there you go, you're in low. If you want to go to high mode, you just double click it, and there it is up to high. I'm gonna actually do that again so that you can see it come on. If you notice, it turned on quickly, but it's sort of slowly ramped up to that highest level. That's actually an intended feature so that if you turn it on and you're going from no light to 2300 lumens, it isn't quite as much of a shock to your eye as going from nothing to 2300 lumens, which is kind of nice that they've done that. All right, so now it's off. Now there's 3 light modes in the middle, and when you click the button 1 time, it will remember what your mode was previously. So I click it once now, it remembers we're in high mode. I'm gonna actually turn it down all the way to moonlight. Boom. All right, so we're on moonlight now. Turn it off with 1 click. Turn it back on. It's going to boot back up to moonlight, as I said. So let's cycle through those levels. Holding it down for 1 second goes to moonlight. Double clicking it, no matter where you're at, turns it to turbo. And then pushing and holding it down cycles through the 3 intermediate power levels, low, medium, and high. And it'll just do that as long as you hold it down. As soon as you get to one you want, let go, and it'll stop right there. Turn it off with 1 click, and when you turn it back on with 1 click, it goes back to that exact same brightness level where it was. Nice to see. It also has button lockout mode, so you push and hold this down for 3 seconds solid, it'll lock you out. Then to unlock it, push and hold it down for 2 solid seconds, then it'll re-enable the button, which is nice to see if you're throwing in a pack or something, doesn't accidentally get turned on, get bumped on, and then you wind up being on high or something. You're on a hike for 3 or 4 hours, you get done with your hike, you open your bag, you go to turn on your light that night, and it's dead because it's been on high for 3 hours, and it's only rated for 2.5 hours of straight runtime on high. So that's obviously an important feature. Speaking of which, I mention outside a lot. A lot of lights like this I like to use when I'm out. I can clip it to myself. There's a included headband that comes with it. I'll break that out in a second, I'll show it to you. But you can clip it to yourself, whatever you've got, your pocket. If you're wearing a plate carrier, clip it to that. And this is a S type of clip on here, so you could clip it in this direction or in this direction, either way. Obviously, you can go sideways either way also. Magnetic base is not just for charging, but you can stick it up against something metal and it'll stick onto it. Be it, stick it sideways, you can stick it upside down if you want. If you're gonna mount this thing upside down, I would not use it on, I would only mount it to something static. When you're, if you're mounting it to a vehicle, let's say, I would only do it while it's static. If you're out and bouncing around, the magnet on here, while it's more than strong enough to hold it upside down for as long as you want, if it's bouncing around, it could break loose. If it does fall, it's rated for a drop of 1.5 meters. We talk about outside again, it's IPX8 rated, which is nice to see. It's a step up from IPX7. We'll have those technical details for what that actually entails. IPX8 normally means it's better than IPX7. IPX7 would be a meter underwater for be it 15, 30 minutes, whatever. We'll see how this turns out. I'll put that information at 13cgunreviews.com. You can go ahead and check out the companion article to this, which will have a lot of that more drier. We'll have a lot of that stuff that isn't as relatable on video, and I don't want to get bogged down in the details and bore you guys out of your gourd while you're listening to me here. All the stats that I gave you are for the cool white version of this. There's also a neutral white version. The neutral white version, the run times are pretty much the same. It's just the lumens are slightly lower on that neutral version versus the cool white. It's just the nature of the beast of the bulb type. Hopefully that covers about everything with this light. I mentioned it's a utility light more, and not a tactical light. One of the other reasons why is if you have your hand wrapped under here and a good grip on it, you double click it into turbo mode, the beam throw is so wide, you see it reflecting off my fingers there, it's gonna cast light back your direction, especially if you're choked up on it. So I'm working also right now on a video that'll be out in a couple of weeks on the M2T Warrior. It's a tack light. It's kind of similar size diameter, but on the end, instead of a rechargeable base like a couple of these other lights, it's got an actual tail cap on it that you can use with your thumb to override the little button in here to instant on and then double deep press it to get strobe mode on. Pretty cool. The reason why I bring that up is same battery in here, you can take that out, and instead of putting CR123 batteries in it, 2 of them in that other light, you can take this same 18650 battery, put it in there. Not only does it give you then a stronger battery, which kicks up the lumens in that light to the next level, which it's rated to do that. Then you have a rechargeable battery, so you're not eating through your CR123s as fast. While you can't recharge a rechargeable battery in that one, you just take it out, throw it in this one, and charge and get it charged up in here. So the added feature, not just of the light, but that rechargeable 18650 battery in here shouldn't be overlooked. I almost forgot. The headlight feature here, it has a magnet in here, so it'll magnetize to it. It also has this pull clip on here, so you can wrap it over and actually lock it in there, so if you're running around or something, it doesn't come out thanks to the magnet. Anyway, we'll just throw it up here real quick, show you guys. Boom, there it is. Push the button, and I don't want to kick it up on high and blind the thing, but there you go. Pretty cool. Like I said, you can use this flip down tab to lock it in there also. Hopefully that covers everything. Facebook.com/gunreviews. Leave some comments there if you'd like some feedback. We also have different sales and promotions that go on. Also, 13cgunreviews.com. Please visit over there. Sign up for our newsletter. If YouTube bans us, which might happen with all the good firearm content we have on here, we're going to be moving to other platforms, and you can find all that information if you sign up for the newsletter. We promise we won't spam you. Sell your information. Maximum of one email per week is what we're going to strive for. Maximum, so you won't get spammed out either. And thanks, guys. Take care. Stay safe, and we'll talk soon. That's just a little bright. Whoop, whoop. Well, just testing on the concrete here. Yet again, we've dropped it again. That's the that came off the top of my tripod. I stuck it on the top of my mount, and that would be a total of right at a drop of probably right at 6 foot high. Onto the concrete, still going. Unintentional there, but might as well take advantage of it while it happens. Pick it back up, put it on top, and hopefully it'll stay this time. Meanwhile, get us back in frame. Might as well do this all in one take, right? Leave it on here. Give you guys a size perspective of this tree here. I'm standing right next to it, getting blinded. Those lights, driveway markers behind me are actually still up because, theoretically it could still snow. But there you go.